Okay, so what that is there is the YI camera or Yi camera, and this is what it looks like in your car. It's mounted via a little sticky pad, which is very strong indeed. It's got a micro USB cable which goes up, and in this case over to the top of the car here, and then down the side of the car into my electrical outlet, which is actually here. Now it's actually, that's an extension because I've got the cable underneath this seat. So you can see here it actually just plugs into a standard USB port. So you can plug that into, I've got this sort of extension lead here so that I can plug other things in. But you can plug that into any USB outlet. Okay, so this is the YI or Yi dash cam. And you can see here it's a very professional, sleek looking camera. It's got a microphone on the front there for when you're talking, and it can capture the sound in the car. You don't have to have that, but it's on there. And then you've got the micro USB charging on the right hand side here. Long cable is supplied. Got a reset button if everything goes wrong. You've got a very easy to understand navigation system on the front. Just 4 buttons. I'll show you those in a minute. It mounts onto a mounting bracket here, so obviously this cable goes down, around, up through the car, and connects in to the electrical outlet, or cigarette lighter if you want to call it that. It's a cigarette lighter is the proper name. Got a micro SD card slot. The SD card isn't supplied, you need to get that yourself. A little bit of a speaker on the bottom there, and that is it. It's a very nice little device. I've got it turned on at the minute. But the LCD screen panel goes off after a bit, and you can have a clock and the date and time on there, which is useful. You can adjust that. This setting system here is very easy. You just literally press the settings button and you can adjust everything. So at the minute that goes off after 5 minutes. You can press tick, it goes off after 10 minutes. Keep on all the time if you want the footage showing all the time. I'm going to have it going off after a minute. I can alter the G sensor, I can turn the microphone on or off. It's just simply a matter of pressing tick on or off, so that's on again. The resolution here, we're at 1920 by 1080p. We've got this ADAS system, which is a driver assistance setup. I've got it disabled. It's disabled out the box. I'd recommend leaving it disabled. It tells you that the car's drifting when it isn't, and that you're too close to a car in front when there isn't one there at all. So just leave that off. There's a Wi-Fi here on board, which is really what makes this camera different to a lot of the cheaper dash cams. You can set it up. It's really easy to set up, I must admit. You download the app, and there's a QR code to do that, and then you can grab all the content of your camera directly off your phone, so you no need to mess around with micro SD card. There's a micro SD card option. You can obviously format that. You can do a factory reset, adjust the date and time, adjust the standby clock. So I've got the clock and time on that I mentioned before. Whether you want these beeping sounds, a driving report at the end of it, you can turn that on or off, and just some details about the camera itself. So this is the main screen, and I've just literally pressed back off that menu to get to this. You can see here that it's recording. You can see I've got a microphone on, it's recording the audio, I've got Wi-Fi, and it's hooked into the power. I can see previous captured footage by pressing that, and I can flick through all the MP4 files that have been created. You can also press this emergency button, which is this red button here, if somebody does something stupid in front of you, and then that records it with a little red notification on there, and it saves it as an emergency piece of footage. So if somebody does something crazy, let's slot through here. Here's one, and then you just press tick to watch it. You can hear me singing. This is a bit of the footage. I'll put this onto the review as well, and you can see somebody may have done something stupid here. So that's a van driver just being a silly sausage. You can press back. It's very easy to navigate this system. Back again, you'll go back to the main screen. You can see that's my footage there. We've got the play and pause, so you can record. You can press pause if you want to stop recording for a bit. If you want to do something private in your car, perhaps. Let's not say any more than that. And that's the interface. Now, that is simple enough. However, if I just put this back onto the dashboard, Okay, so I've mounted it onto the little sticking, oh good grief, it's never easy to focus these things with the light and the dark. You can see the camera here sits on this bracket, which is firmly fixed to my windscreen. It's doing an urgent recording right now because it's just felt a jolt. So obviously that G-sensor's set off because I've literally just twisted it round. But if we look on our... Yeah, so if we look on my phone, I'll go to the app, it's called Y-Dashcam or YI-Dashcam, or either way, this is the Dashcam software, and the QR code's in there. By the way, I should mention this manual. When you buy a Dashcam normally from Amazon or eBay or wherever you buy your Dashcams from, the instructions are terrible. The camera might be cheap, but the instructions are terrible. The instructions on here are absolutely fantastic. The English is perfect. As I know many of you may have seen some rather strange English in manuals before. It shows you how the QR code comes up and how to basically take a photo of that, how the ADAS, the driver assistance warning system, works, although I would just leave it disabled, how to get around those menu systems. There are pages and pages and pages. It's very easy to understand. That menu system, as I showed you, is very easy to understand. However, you've also got this. Now, you connect to the Wi-Fi that the Dashcam pumps out. You can adjust the password for this. Obviously Android is going to moan and say, hey, there's no internet connection on this Wi-Fi, do you want to change? But it's fired up the Wi-Fi on the phone by itself. The app has done it. And look, that is the live footage from the Dashcam right now. If I just put my fingers in front, you can see, hello, that's me. So that's the live footage. So I can see, you know, what the camera can see right now. I can click on the SD card, it will synchronize up. I don't need to faff about with the SD card and taking it out. And you can see here, look, see all those red ones? These are the emergency footage bits that I've pressed where somebody has done something a bit nuts, perhaps in front. There's that warning message I mentioned. So if I go to, whoops, I've come out the app completely. If I go in, connect again. Come on, come on, come on. It connects fairly quickly, I must admit. It's called a Smart Dashcam, the YI or YI Smart Dashcam. It's very nice. SD card, no files. Oh, there they are. Okay, now that it's starting to load up the files now. So if I go to yesterday and I click on, say, this one, it will load those little thumbnails, by the way. And this is an emergency bit of footage. And this is probably me just testing out the camera. You can see it's playing, but there's nothing there. That's purely because I was a bit of a doofus. Here you go. So here's some emergency footage that you can watch it back live. This is over the Wi-Fi that the phone is pumping out. You can download it to your phone and you can see the footage that is captured. Now this is streaming live, so it may not represent exact footage quality. I'm going to put that onto the review, but you can see here I can pause it, I can download it, just press download, and it's going to download to my phone. Boo! And I can choose which bit of the footage to download to my phone. You can see it's doing that here. If I just want to download, say, that bit there or that bit there, I can do that to shorten the download, which is really good. Click on information, you can see that it was an emergency recording, when it was recorded, how big the file is, what type of file it is. You can delete it if you want. You've got the settings. All of those settings I've just seen on the Dashcam can be adjusted here in a very nice, easy to use setup, so you don't need to fiddle about getting the camera off your dashboard if you put it behind the mirror and it's hard to access. Really good. Audio on off, I can flick that here. G-sensor, the timestamp, turn off the logo watermark because the footage has a little watermark on it as default, so you can take that off. It's just got the YI logo on it. A driving assistant, I've turned that off. A clock display, how, you know, whether you want the driving report. It's fantastic. The app itself is really very good indeed. Again, there's instructions in there how to use the app. Won't get those instructions right now because I'm on the Wi-Fi, but hey, and you've got a store with more cams. Overall, I've got to say guys, this camera, the YI Smart Dashcam, is a very good bit of kit. Highly recommended from us here at Cool Smartphone. I would definitely go and buy one of these. If you need a Dashcam, get one of these. Very simple and easy to use, very easy to download your footage, very easy to use and put together and install. I've said very easy to use twice, but you get the idea. Very good.